Thanks. And hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. As they said, Omar Khadr, a former child soldier, has spent more than 7 years, or 1/3 of his life, in U.S. military detention. At the age of 15, when he was taken into custody after a firefight in which he allegedly threw a grenade that killed a U.S. soldier. That allegation is much harder to substantiate now, after further evidence has come to light, as they've mentioned, and with witnesses who have now recanted their initial statements, saying that they had seen him throw a grenade or had seen him running. We know now from the pictures that Omar Khadr was buried under rubble, and an American soldier stepped on him before they even knew he was there. From the time he entered military custody from Bagram to Guantanamo Bay, Omar has been subjected to detention conditions and interrogation techniques that have violated the International Convention, the prohibition of torture and other cruel, human, or degrading treatment, as well as being denied his right to be free from arbitrary detention and, if charged, to be tried in full accordance with international fair trial standards, not military commission standards. The U.S.'s failure to provide Omar with protections he was and is entitled to under international law placed a particular onus on our Canadian government to do all it could to remedy this situation. It has failed to do so. To the contrary, Canadian courts have found Canadian officials knowingly participated in Omar's ill treatment and unlawful detention in violation of national and international law by interrogating him for intelligence purposes while he was still suffering from effects of sleep deprivation imposed in order to induce him to talk. Federal Court Judge O'Reilly on April 23, 2009, stated in his judgment that Omar's detention and his treatment flew in the face of numerous international instruments, of which these are the following that he found. Number 1, the UN Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman, or Degrading Treatment or Punishment. Number 2, the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. Number 3, the Optional Protocol on the Involvement of Children in Armed Conflict. And number 4, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Justice O'Reilly also stated Canada was not abiding by its obligations to a Canadian citizen under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The Federal Court of Appeal upheld the federal court decision and restated that the Canadian government must seek Omar Khadr's repatriation. By seeking leave to appeal to the Supreme Court, the government showed their determination to block Omar Khadr's return to Canada. As you may know, the Supreme Court hearing was held Friday, and the decision is yet to come. How long it will be in coming has not yet been defined. Amnesty International was given intervener status in this appeal and asked the Supreme Court to dismiss the Canadian government's appeal and to uphold the ruling of the courts below that the Canadian government must request that Omar be repatriated. Amnesty International believe that Omar's repatriation is the only remedy that can address the serious and ongoing human rights violations he has experienced during his 7 or so years of illegal detention. Amnesty also believes that the repatriation order is justified in light of the violations of Omar's right to procedural fairness arising from the Canadian government's failure to consider his request for repatriation in a fair and timely manner. You may also have heard that Omar and several others will be brought to the continental U.S. to be tried in a military commission, a commission whose boundaries have yet to be fully defined by a Congress and Senate, so yet more waiting for Omar. A military commission, which is a legal system created by the military, which does not recognize international or common rules of law and allows hearsay evidence and evidence gathered under torture. Amnesty is urging the Canadian government to protect the rights of a Canadian citizen, someone born and raised here, by negotiating Omar's repatriation, his fair trial in Canada under civil law if evidence is warranted, and his rehabilitation and reintegration into Canadian society. Amnesty is intervening in this case to ensure the Canadian government complies with its duty to protect its citizens from human rights abuses. So let the Canadian government know you support Omar, his rights, and yours as a citizen of Canada. Join with Amnesty and all the other members here in the US, the United Kingdom, and around the world. Sign the petition, write letters. You can go online at amnesty.ca and send the online letter. Let the people know in the government that Omar Khadr needs to be brought home to justice. Thank you.